Alright guys, today we're going to be looking at the final exam review number 1. And it really should just be called the post-test exam review number 1. Alright, so let's take a look at number 1. It says which polynomial function has the zeros 2, -1, and 0. One way that I can do this is to work backwards. And I can take each one of these and set them equal to 0. So x is equal to 2, x is equal to -1, and x is equal to 0. And then the next thing I can do is set each one of these equal to 0. So I can subtract 2, and that will give me x minus 2 is equal to 0. I can add 1, and that gives me x plus 1 is equal to 0, and we already know that x is equal to 0. Then what I can do is take each one of these factors and multiply them together. So x minus 2 times x plus 1 times x. And so to save on some room, I'm going to FOIL this first, and that would give me x squared plus 1x minus 2x minus 2. Combine my like terms, and that gives me x squared minus 1x minus 2. But don't forget that you're still going to multiply this by x, so I'm going to distribute and get x cubed minus 1x squared minus 2x. And if I look for my answer choice, that would be answer choice A. And the answers are at the very last page of this activity, so it is A. Alright, for the next one, let me arrow down. It says, which monomial has the highest degree? Well, this degree for A is 5. The degree for C is 6 plus 1, which is 7. The degree for B is 4 plus 4, which is 8. The degree for D is 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6. So the highest degree would be on B, which is 8. Alright, for number 3, it says subtract. Remember to change your signs in the second. So this is x cubed minus 2x plus 3 minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 3. Combine my like terms, so I'm going to have x to the third minus 3x squared minus 6x plus 6. And so that would be answer choice D. Alright, let me arrow down. Alright, for number 4, it says use the graph of this function to identify the values of x for which the function equals to 0. Well, the function is 0 when it crosses the x-axis, which happens here and here. So I would say that my zeros are -1 and 2 with a multiplicity of 2. In other words, we call it a double root. Whenever your function doesn't go through the x-axis but just touches it and goes the other way, that's called a double root or a multiplicity of 2. So we said it was -1 and 2, so -1 and 2. So not A, not B, not D, but it has to be C. -1 and 2 with a multiplicity of 2. Alright, for number 5, and I'm going to see if I can I zoom out, view, let's zoom, let's zoom, fit width maybe? Okay, let's try this. Alright, for number 5 it says, which of the following is a cubic, remember that's degree 3, binomial, that means 2 terms, with a positive leading coefficient. Well, binomial means 2 terms, so that always takes care of B and A. Cubic means it's a degree 3, and positive leading coefficient, well, the only one that matches that would have to be D. Alright, for number 6, it says, which of the following is a factor of x squared plus 6x minus 27? Well, one thing I can do is graph this into my graphing calculator and see where the x-intercepts are. But I also know that I could factor this. Factors of negative 27 are 9 and 3. To get a positive 6, I would do 9 minus 3. So this is a factor into x plus 9 and x minus 3. So that means that my factor would have to be x minus 3. All right, moving on. Number 7. It says identify the roots of negative 2x to the third minus 8x squared plus 6x plus 36 is equal to 0. Well, I'm going to take my calculator so I can get a better look at this. So let me grab my graphing calculator for it. And so I'm going to go to graph, and then let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. So this is negative 2x to the third. It would help if I click it. Negative 2x to the third. Alright, and then minus 8x to the second plus 8, nope, 6, that's a 6, 6x plus 36. And there's my graph. And so notice that there's a double root right here, so this is a multiplicity of 2. So negative 3, there's a multiplicity of 2, and then at 2, there's one answer. So let me go back to my answer choices. So we're looking negative 3, multiplicity of 2. So negative 3, multiplicity of 2. So it can't be this one or this one. So multiplicity. Alright, negative 3 with a multiplicity of 2, and we said positive 2, so it can't be that one. So positive 2, multiplicity of 1, negative 3 with a multiplicity of 2. So it has to be D. Alright, for number 8, just found the product, that means multiply, so I'm going to distribute this, I'm going to get 3x to the 4th plus 4x cubed minus 1x squared. The next one, I'm going to get negative 6x cubed minus 8x squared plus 2x. The last one, I'm going to get negative 9x squared, negative 12x, and positive 3. So combining it all up, I get 3x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 18x squared minus 10x plus 3. So 3x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 18x squared minus 10x plus 3. So it would have to be A. Alright, for number 9, it says which of the following polynomial functions can have the graph shown below. Notice that there's a double root here at negative 1, so negative 1 has a multiplicity of 2. There's another root at 2, and then there's another root at 5. So I know that 2, 5, and we said negative 1 has a double root. So those are my x-intercepts. So the factors would be the opposite, x minus 2, x minus 5, x plus 1, x plus 1. And then just to save on writing, you could write x plus 1 as being squared. So we're looking for x plus 1 squared. So nope, nope, nope. The only one is D, and so that would be my answer. Alright, for number 10, it wants you to talk about end behavior. Notice it's an odd degree with a positive lead coefficient. That means it's going to go down on the left, up on the right. So that means as x goes to negative infinity, f of x is going to go down. And as x goes to positive infinity, f of x is going to go up. So which one of these statements is true? It would be B, because this one is not true. That means it's going down. Alright, let's move on to number 11. It says, which is a graph of an even function with a positive lead coefficient. Even functions mean they both go the end behavior goes the same direction. Positive means they're both going to go up. So notice that these are going opposite directions, so that's odd. These are both going up, and they're both in the same direction, so that would be my even positive lead coefficient. Notice that C, they're going in different directions, so that's odd. And I'm betting that D is going to be the same direction, but they're going down. It is, so that's why it's not D, it's B. Alright, number 12. It says determine the intervals of increasing and decreasing for the following graph. Well, in order to do increasing and decreasing, you have to know where the maxes and the mins are. So notice that there is a max here, and the max here is at 0, 3, and there's a min here, and the min here is at 2, negative 3. When we talk about intervals of increasing and decreasing, we only look at the x. So let's start off by going from left to right. The graph is increasing, then decreasing, and then increasing again. Remember, you always start off with negative infinity. You always finish with positive infinity. And now let's fill in the blanks. Look at the x values. The first one that comes is 0, so whatever's there goes here. The next one is 2, so whatever's there goes there. So those are my intervals. So it's increasing from negative infinity to 0 and from 2 to infinity, and it's decreasing from 0 to 2. So let's see if it's decreasing from 0 to 2. It's decreasing from 0. Decreasing from 0 to 2 is decreasing. Nope. Yep. Nope. Alright, and we said it was increasing from negative infinity to 0, so nope, so it has to be C. And then from 2 to infinity, so it's C. Alright, moving on to number 13, it says match the graph of x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x, identify the intercepts and give the domain and range. Alright, well, I notice that this is an odd degree, so I know the end behavior is going to be going in different directions, and it's a positive lead coefficient, which means it's going to be going down on the left and up on the right. Well, A is doing that, but B is not, so I can go ahead and throw out B. And I bet if I arrow down and look at C, sure enough, C, they're going the same direction, so I can throw that one out. So I can throw out B and C. I can't throw out A and D just yet, because those are doing exactly what I said. Alright, now, the best thing to do would be to graph it, and then match which one it is, and I think that if you graph it, let me show you how to graph it right quick. So x cubed, let me get to it, let me get my new graph up here, and let me just graph it right quick. So x cubed, that's a negative, don't want that. So x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. There's my graph, and I thought it was that one. It was going to be that one, and so let me go back to it, and so that would be A. So that's A for my answer for number 13. Alright, for number 14, let me scroll on down. For number 14, it says divide. So if you remember synthetic division, you put the opposite inside the box, so negative 2 goes inside the box, and then let me put my numbers down. So 1, 0, negative 1, 6. And so do synthetic division, bring down the 1, negative 2, 4, 3, negative 6. It's got a remainder of 0. So I'm looking for 1, negative 2, and 3. And so that would be C. And then last one, number 15, it says, which of the following is not algebraically correct? Well, it's hard to see, but this is supposed to be a 3. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and do each answer. So for A, it's x minus 3, x plus 8. So this looks like a FOIL problem. So I'm going to do x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 24. That gives me x squared plus 5x minus 24. Well, that's sure enough true. That worked out good. All right, for the next one, for B, let me do 4x minus 5 times 4x plus 5. For this out, I get 16x squared plus 20x minus 20x minus 25. Those cross out, leaves me 16x squared minus 25. That one's true, so that one's good. Alright, for the next one, for C, let's see, 2x plus 3y, 2x minus 3y. Pull this out, I get 4x squared minus 6xy, and then plus 6xy minus 9y squared. Cross that out, that leaves me 4x squared minus 9y squared. That one's not true, so it has to be C. Alright, that's it for the final exam review, I do believe. Yep, it is. Okay.